Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
And good morning. It's Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Good news for COVID relief. In Comptroller Franchot's press conference yesterday, he said that his office was already processing direct payments to qualified Marylanders, and they could see the money in their accounts by Friday. If you are awaiting adjudication on your unemployment claim, and there are 32,000 of you, as soon as the Department of Labor sends its list to the Comptroller, $1,000 will be on its way to you. To check to see if you qualify or to check the status, you want to go to marylandtaxes.gov/relief act. That will let you know, along with all of the details and other assistance that's available to businesses. Great news for a Wednesday morning. And to help the seniors in Maryland who may not have internet access, the state has established a phone line to assist in getting set up for vaccines and answer any questions. The line is 1-855-MD-GO-VAX or 855-634-6829. Now, according to the Maryland Department of Health, in one day they booked 2,000 appointments for vaccines. But what the health department says and what reality seemed to be are a little bit different. WTOP spoke with dozens of people who said that they were hung up upon, put on indefinite hold, promised callbacks, yet received nothing. The health department said they handled 39,000 calls with 310 people taking those calls. WTOP did try. They got a message saying there was a 10-minute wait, and they ended up giving up after 25 minutes. So if this is something that you plan to use, it sounds like you need to prepare for a little bit of frustration. And here's some surprising news from late yesterday afternoon. It seems like the Baltimore Sun and its baby Sun papers, the Capital, the Carroll County Times, and the Maryland Gazette, have all been sold. Alden Capital is acquiring Tribune Media, and Tribune Media is the parent company, and Alden is actually the largest shareholder. But they're spinning off the Sun and the Baby Suns to a new nonprofit called the Sunlight for All Institute. Now, this nonprofit is headed by Stuart Bainham, who is a Montgomery County billionaire that founded Choice Hotels and operates nursing homes. There are, of course, a couple hurdles to clear, but it looks very encouraging, and this is great news for our local paper. Stay tuned. Following up on our story about the fire in Hillsmere on Monday night, the house was thankfully unoccupied and suffered extensive damage. No estimate is available yet, and the cause is under investigation. It took about 30 minutes to put the fire under control, and the Annapolis, Anne Arundel, and Naval Academy fire departments all responded. One firefighter was slightly injured and treated and released for minor burns at the Hopkins Bayview Burn Center. Annapolis City has a new deputy chief of police. Stan Branford retired several years ago from Baltimore City Police Department and was hired by Chief Ed Jackson in January of 2020 as a civilian cold case investigator. Yesterday, Mayor Buckley swore him in as a sworn officer who is now the number 2 man in the department. And finally, do you have what it takes to make a difference in the life of a kid? Seeds for Success is looking for some volunteer tutors and mentors to work with kids from lower-income housing right here in our community to help them build the foundation they need for academic success. Tutors are going to work with a student 1 hour per week, and mentors are expected to work with a student 6 hours a month, and both can be done in person or virtual. They need a total of 16 volunteers right now, 6 for elementary, 5 for middle, and 3 for high school-age kids, and 2 that are in the scholarship program. To sign up or to learn more about Seeds for Success, you want to go to seedsforsuccess.org/volunteer, and that is the number 4, seeds, the number 4, success.org/volunteer. And if you are unable to volunteer, please check them out anyhow. It's a great organization and one you probably should support in any way that you can, if you possibly can. All right, that wraps up the news for us today. As always, thank you for listening, and if you are somewhere where you can leave a rating or a review, please do. And make sure you let your friends, family, and colleagues all know about us. A quick thank you to our sponsors for today's Daily News Brief, Solar Energy Services up in Millersville, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, Long & Foster Company, and Brian at the Duckpin. Hang tight. We've got George Young from DCMDVA Weather standing by with your locally forecast weather report. More winter is a-comin'. All that gets underway in just 1 minute, but first, here's Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, February 17th. Yesterday brought a little early rain and some slightly warmer temps to the Annapolis region, but it was another day of minimal sunshine, and while today will counter that with plenty of sun, temps will be colder with highs only in the 30s, and then it's right back to clouds and storminess Thursday and Friday with our next winter storm, which will likely bring 2 to 4 inches of snow to Anne Arundel County, with some potential for a bit more than that, but the real concern is for a quarter inch or more of freezing rain on top of the snow starting in the PM hours Thursday, lasting into Friday morning. The expectation is for Thursday to be a wintry day from the onset to the end, with travel disruptions likely with slick roads, and then we have to watch for power outages down trees and tree limbs in the PM and overnight hours, as the freezing rain adds up on all surfaces, so be sure to get your ice melt ready as well as a shovel or maybe some local help for snow and ice removal in yet another winter weather event this month. After that, skies clear late in the day Friday, with the weekend likely sunny but cold, with temps most likely in the 30s for highs each day. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DC MDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DC MDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and use our website each day by visiting DCMDVAweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
I've always loved being a realtor because to me, it's more than a job. It's something that gives me an incredible sense of helping others. And this year in particular, when so many people we've helped had to move rather than wanted to move, it gave me an even greater sense of purpose. Whatever the reason for someone's move, from a career relocation to simply needing to downsize, it has truly been super rewarding and a privilege to be able to assist our clients through all the steps of their journeys. Though it hasn't always been easy, we've learned new ways of navigating the home buying and selling process. So whether you need to say goodbye to your current home or are looking for a new house to start the next chapter of your life in, the Kristi Neidhardt Team is here to work with you and for you, because truly we are all in this together.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
Hi there, this is Brian Griffiths inviting you to listen to my podcast, the Duckpin Podcast. Some weeks on the Duckpin Podcast, I talk with those making a difference in the world, whether it be in politics, finance, journalism, business, or sports. I'm getting inside the worlds of those people making things happen. Some weeks I'll give you my take on the world, with the political analysis you've always expected. Either way, each week you'll learn something on the Duckpin Podcast. Subscribe today on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And you can learn more at our home base, theduckpin.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.